What's up, Browns fans? Welcome to episode 10 of the Dawgs podcast. Let's kick this thing off.
Welcome to the Dawgs podcast with your hosts, Blake Reneker, Zach Kopp, Justin Charles, and Josh All.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We made it, episode 10, not episode 8. So, if you guys heard that last week, I'm an idiot. My brain's stupid. This is episode 10. We fought through, all the adversity. People telling us we weren't going to make it. The Rona, and look at us. We're still here. Came out the other side, shining in a new fancy polo. So we're doing all right. We're taking this thing all the way. We'll see you guys at 100. It was a good week for the Browns. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but Myles Garrett signs a 5-year, $125 million extension. What do you guys think? You guys think that was wise spending by the Browns?
I do. I think it's about time for this team to ever get, where it needs to be, a good team in the NFL. Like, we have to start investing. We have to make the right picks, and then we need to carry through and invest with them. So Myles Garrett may not have had the career to this point that we were hoping, but it's still been a good career. So now we are betting and investing in his future and the future of our defense.
Crazy stat I heard. He's the first round pick to sign a second contract with the Browns in almost a decade or something crazy or longer.
Yeah, I believe it.
So he is the first round draft pick the Browns have made since I was in middle school that we have then kept on the team past their rookie contract. That blows my mind.
Well, look at our win-losses. I mean, that I could have told you that, I think,
That's a crazy stat to me. To me, I think it was a good idea to do this. Like you said, his career to this point, I think he's shown glimpses of what he can be, and we're kind of banking on the fact those glimpses are going to start becoming like the everyday, every play thing. And also, I think down the stretch, this deal is going to look like a team-friendly deal. Like, we're saving money in the long run by doing this. And also, I think it helped that we showed him support during that thing with Pittsburgh last year. So I don't want to say he gave us a hometown discount. We did make him the highest paid defensive player or whatever. But, we showed him some love, so he showed us some love. He didn't go try to chase anything bigger. He stayed with Cleveland. This probably locks him up, I would say, in Cleveland for his career. I would imagine, unless, something crazy happens.
Yeah, and just to give a shout-out to a good listener of the show, Eric Williams, who was on Percy Gardner's 99 Mile Per Hour podcast this week. Excuse me. He said that, and quote, the key to getting the bag in Cleveland, assault a Pittsburgh quarterback.
Yeah,
I like that. Speaking of the assault in Pittsburgh, one guy not too pumped about this, touch on this real quick. Andrew Filipponi of 93.7, The Fan in Pittsburgh, said he ripped this move. Myles Garrett should still be suspended. The fact that he's cashing in makes me sick. A lot of sacks, but not a lot of wins. Bro, you voted for James. You like James Harrison.
yeah. And so not to go after anybody's incidents outside of football, but is there a quarterback not have a notorious double record of
bathroom problems?
Yeah, hey, can you block this door for a little bit for me? I mean, it's one thing if you get caught at the bank with a mask on and a bag of money, but if you get caught there twice with the bag of money and the mask on, I'm probably gonna call you a robber. I'm not, I don't want to say exactly how I feel about this, but I'm Pittsburgh fans. Hey.
Yeah, on the Twitter page, I saw it's kind of a funny thing. The NFL memes account on Twitter said Myles Garrett was fined $45,623 for hitting Mason Rudolph in the head with his helmet. He just signed a $125 million deal, means he can hit him 2,739 more times until he runs out of money.
It's excellent.
That is the kind of stat I love. I'm glad somebody did that research.
Freddie probably be putting that on a T-shirt. Wearing it post game.
Yeah, right before the game. Yeah, at the bar on Saturday night.
So my question is, what is he doing using the argument of not a lot of wins? Because if that's part of your strong argument against signing a guy, then Cleveland should have 0 players on the roster.
Yeah. We should just never draft anybody.
Yeah, exactly, because nobody's worth signing if we're not going to win a lot, because it says here, Garrett endured seasons of 0-16, 7, 8, and 1, in which he had 2 freaking head coaches and all these changes in the locker room and everything. And then 6 and 10 last year with the joke of the century.
Yeah.
And how can you use that as an argument against a guy?
Yeah.
One guy on a team.
And the ceiling for Garrett is crazy. My wife loves Myles Garrett, and every day she'll be like, man, did you see that new workout video? The guy's coming in shredded this year. And I'm just like, I really hope he gets sacks. What are you doing watching Myles Garrett's workout videos? What's really going on here?
I will say I was up at training camp last summer and got real close to getting Garrett's autograph, but too many kids flocked in front of me. But dude walks up after training camp, no shirt. And I mean, I'm just saying, I mean, aside from like The Rock,
yeah,
I've not seen anybody that shredded. Like, holy crap.
I just remember when they did they were doing Texas A&M's like workout day or whatever, and he was just like walking around, and I'm just like, man, we're going to sign this guy, and he is huge. Now, we've done that before. Like, this might go into some of our, down the road draft picks, but like, I remember Phil Taylor being huge and did not translate. Well, depends on how far you got to reach for this pick,
Right.
But, I really, really like it. I mean, you basically, and we talked about it too. This is like a friendly deal for the Browns. You're signing this guy before, what you're going to pay a guy a year for an elite level defensive player goes way up.
That, and I think it also keeps the interest of some of the other defensive players you're going to have to sign in the coming years that, oh, hey, we still got Myles here, I want to be here, rather than, well, Myles walked, I don't want to stay in Cleveland.
And even our other players like Baker, Chubb, Denzel. I mean, this kind of keeps that whole group. We can keep them together.
Yeah, and Garrett's comments about the signing. I understand that some guys will just say things, for the publicity or anything, but at least he's saying the right things. He signed with the Browns. He didn't have to. He said he has no reservations for staying here. He likes the history because it only make it sweeter when we turn things around, start winning games, playoff games, and eventually the big one. He says he wants to be the guy that leads them.
Yeah. Yeah, he came out.
That's what you want.
Yeah, he came out and said that, he kind of made a comparison of Khalil Mack came out and was the highest paid player, won the defensive player of the year in 2016. So he said, kind of that onus is on him now of, I just got signed, like that's what I'm going after that this year.
Dude, if you can be even close to Khalil Mack, man.
Well, he was going to break the sack record last year. Mm-hmm. If he was going to break Cleveland's sack record easily, and just, I've never seen anything like that. I was at work and my phone was just blowing up and I didn't even realize what was going on.
And the point of where it happened in the game, too, was completely.
Just mind-blowing. Yeah.
I remember I actually fell asleep during that, like the end of that game.
Yeah,
I just kind of dozed off, and then I woke up, and it was kind of post game, and I looked at my phone because I was just going to go back to sleep, and I had messages from friends like, "Holy crap, did you see that? I can't believe that just happened." I'm like, "What?" So I actually rewound it and then watched the whole thing again. I'm just like, "What?"
We almost witnessed a murder.
Yeah,
if he catches him with the hard side of that helmet, who knows what's happening? He might not be he'd be hanging out with Greg Robinson. They'd still be roommates.
God, oh boy.
All right, well, hey, I think we all agree the Myles Garrett extension, good for the Browns, bad for Pittsburgh, so we all love it. So that brings us to what we're getting into today. Hopefully you guys are as excited for this as we are. Last episode, on episode 9, we did the offensive draft. Everybody seemed to really like that. So today we're going to do our, all-decade defensive draft. Same thing as last week. Get on. We're going to post this video. Here's the key, guys. Like, share, and comment who you have has the best team. Not like one or the other. You got to do all three to be entered for the contest for the free T-shirt. Spread the word. Tell everybody. The more people we get involved, the more fun this will be. I think a little bit different in this episode is, an offense by like round 4, we were picking scrubs and it was really funny. I think we're going to be able to build some squads today. We actually have some defensive talent.
Yeah, and before we go into the defensive draft, I really just want to say thanks to everybody who's listening, watching, and everybody who interacted with that last episode because it was great. I mean, we had a lot of feedback, a lot of fun banter back and forth about who had the best roster because, let's face it, we all had good players and not good players.
Right.
There was no getting around that.
Yeah, it
so.
was a
It
ton
made
of
my
fun
week.
so far.
It
Yeah,
made my week. I'd be getting rocked at work. It'd be like 3 a.m. and I'd just be like, I just got to vote. Ah, man. Oh, thank you, brother.
I can make these last 2 hours.
Yeah, I can struggle through this thing.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you to everybody. If it wasn't for you guys watching, I don't know if we would have made it to episode 10. We might have got burnt out already. So thanks to everybody who's checking us out, and continue to spread the word, continue to support the show. We'll keep bringing you more this great content you guys are coming to love. We ready to pick our draft order?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Cross my fingers for
I think
number 4.
I picked first last time. So
Justin, you pick first. Let's see what number you get.
Who am I passing it to?
Go to Blake.
All right, I will be number 2 spot.
go to Josh. I'll get the left.
What do you got, Blake?
I got number 1.
That sucks.
all right.
That's like the pick I did
What I get,
not
Josh?
want.
Tell me my fate.
I am 3.
Oh my god!
You got
got
4
your 4.
again?
Hey.
Okay,
The
well,
system's rigged, man.
That's
yeah,
fine.
Zach at the turn. I don't like it.
I feel like Zach's gonna make some mistakes, and we can.
All right, so
I'll
we got
gang up on him.
Blake
Yeah, I'm
one.
not gonna lie. I might not be the most prepared for this draft, but let's see. Doing the research last week didn't help me out a whole lot. So
So basically, it's the same order, except you two flipped.
Yeah.
All right.
yeah, you get that number 1 pick. Don't miss.
Let's see if I can win from the 3 spot 2 weeks in a row.
I mean, I was kind of like playing, like I was trying to think who I would pick if I had number 1 or number 2. So at least I had my first pick lined up.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, you better get him because he's not going to be there at 9 or 10.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. So we ready?
Do you want to go over real quick what the roster spots are?
Okay. So obviously over the course of the Browns, the last 10 years, we've ran 3 4s, 4 3s. It was kind of tough to compile this list. So what we're going to do is we're going to draft for a 4-3. So we're going to pick 2 defensive ends, 2 defensive tackles, a left linebacker, a middle linebacker, a right linebacker, 2 corners, a safety, a free safety, and a little extra thing we threw in here. Instead of a flex, we're going to pick a head coach, one of the head coaches from the last 10 years for the Browns. So God help us all. One thing I do want to say before we get into this, obviously in the offensive draft pool last week, we missed a couple guys. And I'm not going to lie, in the defensive draft pool, we might have missed a couple guys. If we did, please be nice to us. I'm going to be getting on the research team when I get home today, let them know I'm not happy with their performance. I'm the research team, so I'm going to
Yeah, it was the day after the draft.
It's Blake and my children. They're just
So, we did our best to scour, the last 10 years worth of roster. So if we missed a couple people, let us know. Just be nice about it. And also with all the different defensive systems we ran the last 10 years, some of these guys, we might pick them at D end and you're going to be screaming they were a linebacker. Well, they're kind of interchangeable depending on the defensive system. So we just decided to go 4-3 and just try to plug everybody into that system easiest as possible.
Yeah, and I mean, if somebody picks a DN that somebody thinks is a linebacker and you don't like that spot, don't vote for him.
Yeah, their team sucks.
There you go. This is up to the fans, baby.
For fans, by fans. It's our motto.
yes.
One love.
Right. So here, the other thing. So just to kind of see what you guys are at in your thinking process of how you're taking. Are you guys going career?
Yes, career.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
or just Browns? 'Cause
Career.
That's a big difference.
Career.
If you're saying, oh,
We'll be back to the offensive
okay, okay,
draft.
all right. I just wanted to make sure, just see where everybody was at.
All right, we ready?
Yeah, Blake, are you ready to start
got the
off
card
this
in.
thing?
All right, with the number 1 pick, I'm going to go with the guy we just signed to an extension. I got to go Myles Garrett.
If you
Yes.
wouldn't have taken him, I'd have probably yelled at you there.
I think,
Smart.
probably, one of the most important positions on defense is getting at the quarterback. And he's good at doing that. So I had to lock him up for the next 5 years.
Oh, you did it. There you go.
Good pick.
So I'm going to shock some people
Ooh, boy.
with the number 2. I'm going to go with a guy that had a just insane career. Didn't really, he was okay in Cleveland, but I remember the hype when we got him. I'm going to go with Carlos Dansby. Let me just read this stat line off real quick here. 1,300 tackles, total tackles, 43 sacks, 20 picks, 79 pass breakups, 18 forced fumbles, 6 touchdowns. Oh,
Yeah.
I would take that so badly right now.
How many years has he played, though?
Oh, tons.
He played
It's
a lot of years. He came to
solid career.
Cleveland. He was just kind of older.
Yeah.
He was more like a veteran type, lead your defense type of guy, not the guy you're asking to make
Correct.
all the plays.
I also will, I'm going to plug him in at left linebacker. Just so we're on the record for that.
I did not see that being the number 2 pick.
I did not either.
Very surprising.
But that's cool because that gives me the pick that I wanted if I didn't get the first pick, which obviously is going to be Garrett. There was one guy I just had to have on my team.
Okay.
So I'm locking up Joe Hayden.
I'm very surprised with that pick.
Really? He was. I was
Joe
taking
Hayden.
him
Joe
one or
Hayden's
two.
elite for.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So this is my thing. I always thought Joe Hayden was very, very good. And then I went to a Browns game, and it was towards the end of his Browns career. I want to say it was against Cincinnati, and A.J. Green was just burning him up and down the field. And I sat with a guy that was so drunk. I didn't even know the guy. And he turned me off of Joe Hayden. Like, he was just like, this guy's a bum. He's done. Now, I loved how much he loved Cleveland, though.
Yeah,
Well,
but
He loved
at
some
one
Cleveland.
point, though, Joe Hayden was a top
Yes.
2
cornerback.
to 3 in the league.
I remember, and it's funny that you mentioned that about AJ Green because that's something that I remember specifically about his career in Cleveland was every time we played Cincinnati, AJ Green did not put up the numbers because Hayden could shut people down. He would go on to the number 1 receiver, and that would be it. That quarterback would be like, all right, who's 2, 3, who's my tight end? Because I cannot hit my number 1.
Yeah, ask any of the NFL the guys out there. Stats, he's the 3rd best cornerback in the league.
Yeah, I don't
Still.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah,
Craziness.
he's what 30, 31 years old. He's still playing elite corner play for the Steelers, unfortunately. But I mean,
Ugh.
what a player!
many-
I always loved watching him.
How many tackles did you say that Dansby had? I was curious.
1,300 total.
1,300 total.
It was like 970 something solo.
Gotcha. I
Joe
was just
Hayden has
curious.
525 combined tackles at cornerback.
Yeah.
To go with 27 career interceptions. I mean, I love him.
Yeah.
I love him. That's my guy.
I know it's a very, very good pick.
Okay, so now I'm on the clock here for 2 picks.
Yep.
I'm going to take, because Joe Hayden just went to Josh, I'm going to take Denzel Ward as one of
Dang,
mine.
man.
Yep,
These guys
that
are
was my
falling
number
off
2.
the board
I'm
early.
gonna take,
Keep.
I
Okay.
wanted to take him because the other cornerbacks there, yeah, we got some good guys, but Denzel's one of the best there. And then gonna kind of take, he was very good for Cleveland. But one of my favorite players to watch while he was there, especially, kind of growing up, because he was there, when I was kind of I'm always been a Browns fan, but when I was actually paying attention, watching every game every single week, I'm gonna take DeQuell Jackson.
Oh, yes. Good for you,
That was
buddy.
my
That
next
a boy.
pick.
Okay. Well done. Well done.
And he actually went on to Indy and actually had a pretty good, run there for 3 years. I'm not sure if he's still playing or not.
I don't think so. He'd be pretty old by now.
Yeah, I know he played for 7 or 8 seasons in Cleveland. Let me look. Oh, yeah, his last year playing was 2016.
In 2008, DeQuell Jackson had 154 combined tackles.
Yeah.
He's a freak.
The dude made a million tackles.
Yeah.
Man.
So, yeah, he ended in Indy in 2016. So he played 10 years, 7 in Cleveland, 3 in Indy. Had 1,192 tackles. And I think he only had 1. I thought he had 3 touchdowns I saw in his career. Yeah, 3 defensive touchdowns he was responsible for.
All right. Well, that sucks. Great pick by you, though, Zach.
Thank you.
All right. Well, then I'm going into my defensive line. I'm going to go into that end position, and I'm going to take Jabal Sheard.
Nice pick.
That's a good pick.
Jabal Sheard had a pretty good career in Cleveland, and then he goes on to New England to just do more of the same.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
Yeah, and
Crazy
I know
career.
there was a lot of fans that weren't they expected him to be a Myles Garrett type of a player, but all he did was lead the Browns in sacks for 4 years, 3 or 4 years or whatnot that he was there. I think from 11, 12, and 13.
yeah, so he had his rookie year 8.5, and then 7, then 5.5, and then he had then dropped down to 2. Then when he rolled into New England, it was 8, 5, 5, 5, 4.5. I mean, he's just
Yep.
Dude's got 51.5 career sacks.
Yep.
At the D tackle position.
That's a good pick.
Yep. I had him eyed up. He was one of the 2 people I did research on.
Oh.
Nice.
Okay.
Good job, Josh. Way to take that pick.
that's right.
Am I up?
Yeah, you
Yep.
are.
Okay, so with my second pick, I'm going to take another guy. I'm just going to keep building on the secondary, and I'm going to take I will take Dante Whitner.
Okay.
So,
Nice.
11 picks, 2 touchdowns, 802 tackles, 53 pass breakups. Another lockdown guy. feel like I'm just, you're not going to be able to throw on me right now.
I like that. I like your squad so far.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So that brings me on the clock, and I'm actually really happy you took him because I had a guy eyed up that I just can't get enough of.
Okay.
So I'm going to also lock up my secondary. I'm going to lock up my safety position here. I'm taking TJ Ward.
It's a great pick.
That's
Yeah.
good.
It was between those two. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Love
one of
TJ
my-
Ward. Probably when he played on the Browns, he was one of my favorite Browns players. The way I loved how he just didn't care about the new rules too. He would just lay people out.
Is TJ Ward is he not similar kind of to the Jamal Adams
Yes.
you see today?
Yes.
Can do everything on the field. He can cover. You can line him up in the box. He'll stop the run. Not afraid to tackle people. Yeah, I was very upset when we let him go. He went and won a Super Bowl with Denver. But I was very upset when we just kind of gave up on him, didn't want to give him any money.
Yeah, I didn't get it. And then we ended up bringing in Dante Whitner,
Right.
who was good. But Dante Whitner was definitely at the tail end of his career compared to
Right.
TJ Ward was smack dab in the middle of his prime.
Yes.
Well, all right. So I guess it is kind of nice I get 2 picks in a row here. I do like that. I'm going to lock up the safety position, and I'm going to go with what I think is the only Pro Bowler in this position for us. I'm going to lock up to Sean Gibson. So,
Okay.
I like him.
yeah, a Pro Bowler for the Browns. What did he do? Only led the league in interceptions. I'm pretty
You
sure.
want some
Then he went down to then he went down to Jacksonville and was part of the best defensive unit in the league when the year they went to the AFC Championship. So I think the guy's a beast. And now I'm sitting with Myles Garrett, TJ Ward, and Deshaun Gibson. So I'm getting after the quarterback, and you can't throw on me.
Interesting.
What are your stats, Justin? I know you got him over there.
For Gibson,
Yeah.
46 pass breakups, 23 picks, 1 forced fumble, 3 touchdowns, 314 solo tackles, 437 total. Solid.
Yeah.
Solid
Very
career.
solid.
Really, really solid.
All right, so now we're working our way back up.
Yes.
Justin is on the clock.
So, with all these DNs getting pulled off, I'm going to go ahead and grab one. And a guy that I'm waiting for some things to happen in Cleveland, but a really, really good career so far. I'm going to go with Olivier Vernon. 54.5 sacks so far, 8 forced fumbles, an interception, 216 solo tackles. Guys,
Yeah.
the guy was a stud
When he's healthy,
Yeah.
and I think he can still return to that type
Absolutely,
of form
yeah.
as long as he can stay healthy.
Yep.
I think that's his biggest thing. And maybe kind of the offseason we're having here benefits a guy like him that is always hurt. He doesn't have that chance, he's getting banged up in practice or something. Now he's out for a couple weeks, and it's something that lingers. How many times do we see that? Somebody gets hurt in training camp, and they're hurt all year long.
Correct.
All right, so the draft turns to me, and I'm going to go linebacker, a guy that I still love watching whenever he's on TV.
gosh.
I'm going to take Demario Davis.
Okay.
Good pick.
It's huge, crazy.
The guy has just been a stud
Yeah.
everywhere. When he was with Cleveland, let's see here, he had 99 combined tackles, 2 sacks. He's got over 800 tackles in his career, 22 and a half sacks. Guy just wrecks it out there.
Yep.
I love watching him.
Can we just talk for a second? Look at all the talent the Browns have had on defense.
I literally was researching and just going, man, these guys are all
Really
have
good
great
players.
careers.
Yeah, I almost feel like we never had these guys, though, at the same time.
Or in their primes.
Yeah,
Like a lot
so-
of these guys were, but we've talked about it before. They've come to Cleveland at the tail end or,
But, I mean, the Browns have thrown some good defensive
Yeah, but it's hard when you have a different head coach and defensive coordinator every year. I mean,
quarterback.
Then you get you got front office changes, so you got new people coming in. Well, I don't want these guys. I want my guys. And then you have these studs out here that are on the team that end up just getting cut or traded or whatever just because they're not part of the new person or the new regime.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go on to New Orleans or New England, and then they play for 5-6 more years just tearing it up.
Yeah. All right, so I'm back on the clock. 2 picks. I'm going to stay in the position. I already got a really good middle linebacker. I'm going to stay there because it's one of the Browns' positions where right now, like today, I don't like what we have to offer. So I'm going to take this guy that I thought we should have signed. I'm going to take Christian Kirksey at left linebacker. I think we should have gave him money to keep him. I know he's been injured the last 2 years, but when he was healthy, he was one of the best players on our team on the defensive side. So I'm taking Kirksey at left linebacker. Switching over to right linebacker, I'm taking Jamie Collins.
Great pick.
Dang,
Great
I was eyeing
picks.
up Jamie
Yep.
Collins.
So now my linebackers are done. I got Kirksey, DeQuell Jackson, Jamie Collins.
It's really solid.
Pretty
Really,
That's
really
not
solid.
defense.
that's not too bad.
That's like the opposite of real life Cleveland Browns right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well then, so you did your 2 picks, right? So I'm back
Yep,
up.
you're back on the clock.
Well, then
I
I'm
had
gonna-
those 2 eyed up.
I just took Demario Davis at linebacker, right linebacker. So I'm moving into the middle, and I'm going to take Joe Schobert.
Dang,
Okay.
man.
Very good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have
That's
let
smart.
him go either.
If I could,
Yeah.
if I could have picked 2, I was I'd be like, hey, I'm gonna take Joe Schobert, and he's gonna be my left linebacker.
You could have.
But I was like, I liked Kirksey and Jamie Collins. His career in Cleveland, like he was really good in Cleveland, but he was also great elsewhere.
Yeah.
Really? Okay, so, well, if we're going to be doing this and we're just going to keep linebackers going, I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and take a guy that I thought was excellent for the Browns. I'm going to go Scott Fajita at right.
Yeah,
Great. I mean,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
All right.
an older pick there.
Yeah.
Forgot
For some
about
of
him.
our
Yeah.
newer Browns fans, maybe younger.
Would you like
younger
some
fans.
stats?
Yes.
Bring 'em.
Stats?
Yes,
Bring
throw
'em.
'em out
So 667 tackles, 23 and a half sacks, 7 picks, 11 forced fumbles, 23 pass breakups.
Yeah.
Another stud. Another guy that just tons of production. Linebackers.
Do you have the stats
like
printed
that.
out on every one of these guys on the list?
Absolutely.
I'm done looking it up, man. You can just read.
You know you have the
coming.
internet and stuff on your tablet.
I'm a paper and pen guy. I
He's
had to
an old
borrow
school.
yeah. Yep.
How you doing without your glasses over there? Your reading glasses.
Well, I mean, it's a little tough. I'm also really tired, but decent.
All right, so that puts me on the clock for 2.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Well,
What kind of mistakes you going to make?
yeah, I was eyeing up some linebackers, and you guys just took them all, so I kind of got to rethink my strategy now. So I think I'm going to stay. I think I'm going to stay in the secondary and just kind of stack up my secondary here. A guy who I'm going to take a guy who's on our team now. Every time he gets to play for the Browns, all he does is produce. I'm going to go with Terrence Money Mitchell. I know Greedy's out there, but at this point in the career, I think Terrence Mitchell might be better than Greedy.
Is that your first cornerback that you took?
Yeah.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Yeah, Mitchell's not a bad player at
Yeah,
all.
no, not at all.
I don't hate that pick.
Not at all.
And then for my second pick here, I think I'm going to stay corner and just lock this up. I think I'm going to take Greedy.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think you could say one of the strengths of
I see how you did that. You took Terrence Mitchell, so you had to pay him more money. Got greedy with the
on
next
his rookie
pick.
contract. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think right now one of the strengths of the Browns defense is obviously their front seven, but I think in the back end when healthy, I think we're pretty good. And so I think Terrence Mitchell, even though Terrence Mitchell doesn't even start for us, I think on past Browns team he definitely would have started.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
agree.
Definitely agree with that.
Interesting. So I'm up for 1, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and take a guy that came from Green Bay,
I know who you're looking at.
Tramon Williams, 34 picks, 4.5 sacks, touchdown, 6 forced fumbles.
Yeah.
Another reliable guy, another guy that we got that probably was towards the tail end of things, but another really, really good career. 541 solo tackles. As a career, he can hold my team down.
I was eyeing him up. But then I wanted to give the current Browns some love.
Yeah, it's a good
Mhm.
pick. All right, so that throws it back to me. So I'm going to go. I've already got Jabal Sheard on one side of my line, so I'm putting Emmanuel Ogba on the other side.
Yeah, that's a good
Okay.
pick. I like him.
He's, he went on now. He's in Kansas City, doing well there. But with the Browns, 5.5 sacks, 4-3, had 53 tackles as a rookie. Another player that I think could have done a lot more with the Browns if we had just made the investment in him and in his career, developing him, all that kind of stuff. I just don't feel like he ever got quite the fair shot that I thought he should have.
It was almost like he was the odd man out. Like we signed some people and stuff, and they were like, "Oh, we think these guys are going to be good, so we're going to focus." And then Ogba kind of turned out to be better than all of them. Like it was like a poor personnel decision on our end, which we're accustomed to.
It was almost like, he turned out a little better than those guys, and the people in charge are like, well, that shouldn't be happening. He get those other guys in there. Don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he shouldn't be that good.
Yep. I agree. So I'm back on the clock here. 2 picks. I'm going to take current Browns player. I'm going to take Sheldon Richardson at D tackle.
I was eyeing him up.
He's good.
So I'm going to take Sheldon Richardson
Nice.
to help kind of clog up the middle there. And then I'm also going to take
The silence.
well, there's a couple of different guys I really like. And like kind of Blake knows. I know this from last week. You can like 2 guys. That other guy most likely is going by the time it gets back around to you. So you got to decide which one you want more.
Yep.
And I think that
Hugh Jackson will still be their next pick.
I'm going to take.
Absolutely.
No, he won't. He can get past me.
I'm going to take Demarius Randall at strong safety. I'm taking him at strong safety. I like Peppers that's still out there. But I like Demarius Randall. When he played in Cleveland, he was electric for us when he was healthy.
He should have been a Pro Bowler, and I cannot believe how quickly like the relationship between him and the Browns deteriorated.
Yeah.
He was a big-time Cleveland Brown guy. He was always going on their radio shows. They love him in Cleveland, and I thought he loved it here. I do not know what happened.
Yeah, and it all kind of happened. It seemed like it happened overnight.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yep.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed watching him play. And like I said, when he was healthy in Cleveland and he was happy and we weren't just like not playing him, he was super good.
I'm a big Demarius Randall fan. I wish he was still in Cleveland. I don't understand what happened to that.
Yeah. So I am finished with this round, going back down.
Okay, well, that's back to me then. So I'm going Larry Ogunjobi, defensive tackle.
Very good.
You guys suck.
Yeah, currently on the team. I think sticking him in there with Sheard and Ogba would be really sweet. It says he's already got 12 sacks. He's done it in 3 seasons. So for a guy who's not playing every single down, because we have Sheldon Richardson in there, so
yes,
having Ogunjobi's, I feel good about that.
So, we were kind of talking about this before the show even started, but I'm going to throw the first curveball here. A guy that played linebacker for the Browns, but was more successful in his career as a defensive end from another team that used to be the Browns.
Yeah.
One, Paul Kruger.
Paul Kruger, I like.
21 and a half sacks. I mean, a lot of production, 8 forced fumbles, tons of tackles. I'm just trying to get this,
Where are you putting him? Linebacker or end?
End, absolutely.
Good pick. I like it.
Well, so that leaves me, and you guys literally picked every single person I was eyeing up. I was like, I'm kind of eyeing up this guy. Nope, you guys took him. I do think, my back end's kind of short up here, so I think I'm going to start focusing up front a little bit. I think I'm going to go with a guy who was drafted pretty early by the Browns and, showed some glimpses like he could be really good, but then he went on to a team that just wins Super Bowls every year and had a really productive career and still playing. I think I'm going to go with Danny Shelton.
Yeah.
That's a smart pick.
On the defensive line, D tackle. Again, he showed glimpses when he was in Cleveland, and then all he's done is go. Once he got put into on a good team with a good system and good coaches, all he's done is perform and play well, win Super Bowls. I think with my next pick, I think I'm going to stay right up front. I'm going to go with an old school Browns player. Some of you young Bucks might not remember this guy. I'm going to go with Ty Rubin.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
It's a good pick. I looked at him when I was looking at Sheldon Richardson, but
I
went more current.
I was looking up some Rubin stuff. Guy had 4 pass defense and an interception from the nose tackle position. The guy, I remember him way back in the day, when I was younger, and the guy was just a solid defensive lineman for us. One of those guys where, if we could put him on today's roster, it'd probably be even more productive because he was playing on a team when, man, we were awful.
Yeah. Nope, I like that pick. Rubin was a 6th round pick, I believe, by the Browns.
Really?
Yeah, so he was not like a high draft capital. He was not a guy who was expected to come in and do what he did, which we like that in Cleveland.
Yeah. A lot of times we take people early and They don't do what we want them to do,
Mm-hmm.
aka everybody.
Which you kind of did. I mean, not that Danny Shelton wasn't great, but he did not live up really to that first round expectation. And then you have Ruben, who surpassed his 6th round expectation. So you got a nice little balance there.
In Danny Shelton's defense, I don't think he was like projected that high. I think that if I remember correctly, the Browns like really, really, really reached on him and took him crazy high.
Yeah, well, I mean that's about typical.
Yep.
I'm gonna go back to my secondary. Going back a few years again, and I'm gonna go with Mike Adams. 83 pass breakups, 30 picks, 13 forced fumbles, 6 sacks, 861 total tackles for his career.
Those aren't bad stats.
No. Kind of shocking because, like, I remember him being good and, like, competing for the job, but, like, you look at his career and you're like, oh, hey, he ended up playing for a long time. Good for him.
Yeah. All right, so then I'll take it next here, and I'm going to pick Desmond Bryant as my other defensive tackle.
I like that.
I remember, and he's a little bit older too. I remember Desmond Bryant when he was in Oakland. He was pretty good. And then coming into Cleveland, it says 3.5 sacks his first year, but then he had 5 and 6. The next 2 years, 25 total sacks in his career. Not elite, but I still think that mixed with the other guys I have on my line, I'd be happy throwing him in there in that mix.
You know what's really crazy? So when we start listing off some of these stats with these D linemen that played, maybe 9-10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
6 sacks was a good year for that guy.
Yeah. 6 sacks is a good year anytime.
And what's that tell you about guys like Watt and Donald? Those guys are getting 20 sacks from the defensive tackle position.
Yeah, I mean, it's
crazy
for Bryant, we're going back to 2009, whenever that was his first season.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the passing league that it is now. There was no Patrick Mahomes. I mean, yeah, they threw the ball, frequently, but it wasn't like it is now.
Right.
The running games were still very, very prevalent.
It's crazy. It's just crazy how much the game has changed, how much the position has changed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 6 sacks was good for that guy, and if Donald came out and had 6 sacks, we'd wonder what was going on.
Right.
Yep. So that puts me back on the clock. I need a DN. You guys took all the good ones. But this guy we took first round, 6th pick. I'm going to take Barkevious Mingo.
He's still hanging around out there.
Yeah. He's bounced around. I was looking him up. He's bounced around. He played for Cleveland for a couple years. Went and won a Super Bowl with the Patriots because that's what Cleveland Browns players do.
Yep.
It's a rite of passage.
Then he went to the Colts. He was actually pretty good for the Seahawks and the Texans the last couple years. That he was actually making plays. And now I think he's just on a team where he could succeed. He's with Chicago Bears now.
Opposite Khalil.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, just being on that team, they had to throw 3-4 guys at Khalil Mack just to stop him from getting to the quarterback. So I'm going to take Mingo as one of my ends. And let's see. So let me put him in here.
Sorry for the dead silence, everybody. We are updating our boards as we go.
Right, yeah, because I just don't want to be that guy that
if you're
picks
listening and not
else.
watching.
I'm literally, my papers are getting real shuffled over here. There's a good chance I'm doing that.
So we're starting to get to the point now, like it didn't take, it took longer than it did with offense, but now we're starting to get to the guys where I'm like, okay, I don't know if I want any of these people now. Like there's still a couple of decent ones out there, but.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
Like.
Yeah, that's definitely to that point where you're like, okay, now I got to make this pick. I got to pick the guy that's still available I'm going to get the most for.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely think that. Let's see. I'm going to go with I need a free safety. I'm going to go Morgan Burnett.
You
I'm going to go Morgan Burnett just because
out there.
I liked some of the other guys that are on there. I don't know if I like them, but I at least remembered them.
Correct.
And Morgan Burnett, I think, is probably you took Gibson. I thought he was obviously by far the best. I'll take Burnett. I think he's
You want some stats because that was going to be my pick.
All right, yeah. If you want to throw some out there,
2011, 106 tackles, 123 the year after that, 96, 130. He's got 769 total career tackles, 9.5 sacks.
Yep.
And he's got 10 interceptions.
8 forced fumbles. Crazy.
The dude has
Crazy
been a
stat
monster
line.
in his
Thanks,
career.
guys.
So
Yep, no problem.
Thank you. Great. Thanks for telling me it was a great pick.
He's definitely way better
well, I
than
did the
Ricky
research
Seals
because I was
Jones.
locked and loaded, man. Screwed me up.
So those were both mine. So I just took Mingo and Burnett. So
Okay.
I'm looking. We got 1, 2, 3. We only got 4 picks left.
I know.
Yeah, this thing's
Great.
cruising right along.
Yes.
I think it helps with the speed of the draft when there's more than 8 good players to pick.
And we're like,
from.
all right, guys, stall here because I got to look through because I don't remember any of these guys.
I gotta find out where Pork Chop's playing. At these days.
Yes.
Any of these guys having good practice sessions?
Right. So
Well, if you guys want to stall for me for just a hot
Yeah, absolutely.
So did we touch on, so while Josh is looking, did we touch on the whole Willie Snead thing and him
We
with the
didn't.
Miles,
No.
with the Miles Garrett? So he came out and kind of lashed out at Miles Garrett getting his contract. And I just thought, looking back, I was like, and Justin, we kind of talked about, like, we gave him his first look.
Yeah.
Like, and this guy's out here talking about one of the better players in the NFL. Like, hey, you weren't good enough to play for the Browns. We cut you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's actually gone on, had a pretty good career. And I think he came out and apologized afterwards and was like, hey,
Yeah.
Browns fans, because Browns fans don't forget that you didn't make it on our team.
Yeah.
We cut
And
you.
we're garbage.
Yeah, we cut you back. And we gave you a chance or whatnot. And now you want to come out and, like, bad talk.
What was he saying?
He literally put the tweet out, the same thing with like Josh said about how many more times Miles Garrett could hit
Right.
Mason Rudolph with the
Oh.
helmet.
Right, yeah. So, yeah, he came out with all that. And then Browns fans just went
Shredded him.
Just went in
Just
on
went
him.
in on
Here's
him.
the thing. My favorite thing about Brown, we're a different breed, man.
Yeah.
We're a
We have
different
hate in
breed.
our heart.
Like, so a little bit in one quick story. My dad, when he was, our age, younger, he got all dressed up Browns gear, went to a Steelers game in Pittsburgh. He said everybody was super nice.
Mm-hmm.
They were tailgating, giving them food, all kinds of stuff, drinking with them, having a good time. If you did that in Cleveland, we would
So,
destroy you.
do you have your pick? Because I could tell a story.
Yeah, I got one too. So.
I went to a Baltimore game in Cleveland, and a guy was wearing a Super Bowl Ray Lewis white jersey and running his mouth real bad. Now, he was very drunk. Everybody in the section that I was in was very drunk. And a guy that was like the row behind him hit him in the face with a hot dog, like mustard, ketchup.
Nice.
It was the craziest thing. That was the second most nervous I've ever been at a Browns game. Monday night Baltimore game was, I've never wanted to get out of Cleveland so bad. I was terrified.
So I have a friend, and Blake knows him. So Cody Stress, who he listens, he's a Ravens fan, listens to every episode of our podcast. So shout out to that he's actually listening to us. He doesn't always agree with everything we say, and he's vocal about that next time he sees us. But he said the same thing. He's gone to a Pittsburgh game, Baltimore Ravens jersey on, nothing. Didn't say anything. Everybody, welcome, hey, welcome to Pittsburgh. Respectful. He came to Cleveland. He said beer thrown on him. Constant just yelling at him the entire time. Browns did something good, or if he cheered because the Ravens did something good. Then he said his scariest part was he had to go to the bathroom, walked up to go to one of the porta-johns, and he heard from outside, there's a Ravens fan in there. he hurried up, got out because he thought they were going to tip it over within a minute.
I saw a guy in a urinal get kicked in his back. Like they 300 Spartaned him, kicked him into the urinal. And I was just like, this is
saw that.
unbelievable.
Browns fans, I'm telling you.
We're a different breed, and I love it.
Yeah,
Don't
me
come to
too.
my city in that garbage.
Yeah.
Cody Stress, I'm
If
calling you out. You
If
want
we
to come
want,
in?
yeah.
I
If
guess
we want to,
the big thing is your team's already going to beat us, so don't be stupid.
Yeah. So we're
wear
going to
a
beat
white
you.
tee.
Yes.
Don't let people know what you're doing. Just sit there and just take the game in.
Yeah, that's like my favorite thing about Cleveland, man. Like some people might say it's disrespectful, but I love it.
Was that good? Would you get enough time to get that pick?
I appreciate the stories, guys. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a guy who's on the team right now, a guy that I am very excited for to see how his career goes. He was the second leading tackler on the Browns this past season as a rookie. Okay, and I'm taking Mac Wilson.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay, 82 combined tackles, 57 solo last year as a rookie, meaning he wasn't starting the season on the field very often. He had to work his way into the fold.
Right.
And he ended up having a great rookie season. I'm very excited to see what this kid turns into.
And the talent's there. You can see that the talent is definitely there.
And as much as I hate Alabama, you want to pull in an Alabama defender late in the draft too. And I remember Wilson was PO'd.
Yeah, that they were saying he was going to be a first round guy,
yes,
and
he
had
was
slipped.
so mad that he got taken not by the Browns, but he got taken so late.
Yes, yep.
And he came in with a huge chip. Yeah, exactly. I love that about a guy.
Absolutely.
Good pick.
Thank you.
I was eyeing him up a lot. So I really, 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 really hate all you guys.
Cool.
Oh, so
Awesome.
Blake, you got 2 picks here. So
No. Justin's
No,
up.
I'm
Oh,
definitely
Justin,
up.
yes, I
You're
had,
really
It's okay.
bad at
had
that.
the
man.
It's
had
fine.
the order wrong from
Don't worry
last
about
week.
it.
Last
It's cool.
week you followed Josh.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm going to finish my secondary and get that second cornerback spot locked up. I'm going to go with Sheldon Brown. Another guy, big career, 562 tackles, 133 pass breakups, 26 picks, 9 forced fumbles, 8 sacks, 6 touchdowns. I feel like if my team was just, based on analytics, I'm taking this.
Yeah.
I'm analytics based right now, which hasn't proven
When
any
did he,
success.
do you know when he played in Cleveland?
I don't
I
have
can't.
that.
I was gonna say I couldn't remember the
I
exact.
don't
year.
have that. I could look it up real quick.
I just couldn't remember, and we're stalling for Blake.
Yeah,
Blake's over
Blake,
to
go ahead
type
and
in.
stall, buddy. I'm gonna do some research.
Well,
bud.
I got my next pick lined up.
Okay.
I got to start. I got to start with linebacker at some point.
Mhm.
I'm going to go with a guy who's on the team we actually took early. We love the way he played in college, and I think he's got a lot of potential once he gets his mind right with the game. I'm going to go with Sione Takitaki.
I just love his name.
He's got a football name, and the guy. What I always hear about him is even in practice, the dude's like a scout team hero. He just 110% every single snap. He loves to hit. I think he's going to be really good NFL player. It just might take him a little longer to catch up, but luckily for him, he's got a good secondary around him on my team and a good D-line to help him out.
Yeah, man. When we were talking earlier this year on previous episodes about the weakness of our defense right now kind of being that linebacking core, it's not for lack of young talent.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about
inexperience.
Mac Wilson, Sione Takitaki. Yeah, these guys could be Pro Bowlers in the next few years.
For sure. You guys can stall for a second if you
Yeah,
want.
Zach. So to touch on that, he played his basically a whole career in Philly, from 2002 until 2010. He was traded to the Browns for a 4th and a 5th with another guy. I'm not going to say who this guy is because he's still on the board and he still has value.
Okay.
Somebody may need him.
Okay.
But,
yeah, keep it quiet and then you can
Absolutely.
Bring it up.
Yep. But so for the Browns, he had 7 picks over 3 seasons, a touchdown. Looks like about 130 tackles.
Okay.
One sack.
Gotcha. All right, Blake. Time's up. Pick
What
now.
you got?
My bad.
Next pick.
So I'm trying to do some quick research on the fly, and everybody I look up, they don't have any stats.
Yeah,
They're like, I pull up their
we're to that point.
I look up their Wikipedia page, and it's like signed by the Bills in 2015, released by the Bills in 2015. I'm like, oh man, I don't have many.
Because you're not
options here.
linebacker wise. What do you have right now?
I got Sione, man.
That's it.
He's manning it for me.
Well, there's definitely a guy out there I'm looking at right now that I would want.
Oh, I see. I think I know
that
who
guy
you're talking
too.
about.
Yep, absolutely.
100%.
Yep.
That's a linebacker.
Yes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, no, Zach. No.
Oh, sorry, Justin.
It's fine.
Sorry, Justin.
Don't worry
There
about
was
it.
nobody there that I wanted. That I was
So, yeah. I don't even know what you're talking about. There are some good DNs left in this board, though.
Yeah.
There's not. I need
There's
another
not.
Or
and
some
I need another one,
tackles, anything.
one. Okay.
All right, if you need a minute real quick,
Yeah, go ahead.
you guys had some stories about going to Browns games about, Steelers fans, Ravens fans, and all that kind of stuff. I went to the Chargers game 2 years ago.
Okay.
3 Chargers fans sitting, about 5 or 6 rows in front of us. I mean, come on, it's the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah.
Right.
And these guys were just, every time the Chargers did something, because it was Hugh Jackson Browns, so they were beating the crap out of us. These guys are getting all loud and cheering. And I mean, of course, it's their team.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, there was a guy standing right behind them. So one guy's got a beanie on, it's all blue, it's Chargers. Takes his hat and just chucks it, right? Just
Nice.
throws it.
Nice.
So these guys getting, and not like a fight, but they're shoving each other and they're yelling, and all of them got kicked out. They got escorted out, and I'm like, I was with my dad, and we're like, they're Chargers fans,
Yeah.
Right.
Apparently, they're
and
super
it's like
rowdy.
you start getting a little rowdy with Browns fans around you.
Yeah.
It's just not a good move.
Yeah.
Most fun I've ever had. I've went to 2 Buffalo games in Cleveland, and it's like
6-3.
I'd literally rather go to their tailgate, like the visitor
Oh, yeah.
tailgate. It is insane.
Buffalo fans
They are
go hard.
Like, so I hate that shout song, and I hated everything about it. But by like 10:30. I was
You're
so
singing it.
drunk that I was like getting ready to get like slam me through a table. I want to do that next. Now, like they banned all that stuff. I've been to 2 though, and like, but they sell out. It was more than 50% Buffalo fans they romped us both games. One was like in a blizzard. It was awful.
Well, you've never been to a
Spiller.
win, so
Yeah. CJ Spiller literally lit us up, like ran for like 200 yards. It was awful. Worst day of my life, other than the other 19 games or 20 games I've been to.
So Blake,
Blake, you gonna make a pick or?
Yeah. I got my guy. I'm gonna go with left linebacker here. I'm gonna go with Chris Gokong.
That was the guy that was traded with Sheldon Brown.
Not the guy that I would have picked.
Not the one I was thinking of either. We'll have to talk if we don't.
Well, I'm gonna do it for you right here.
Okay.
I think that I'm gonna do it for you.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and I really need to lock up middle linebacker. I'm gonna go with Eric Barton.
That's who I was thinking.
Okay.
That's one of the guys I was thinking.
Yeah.
There's still another guy out there that I like. That I don't know. Maybe it's just a Browns fan in me.
Eric
Barton
Barton.
stats go.
629 total tackles, 20 sacks, 8 forced fumbles, 4 picks, 21 pass breakups.
Okay, so recap real quick. Who do you guys still got out there available at linebacker? Because now all the middle linebackers are gone.
Yes. You got
James
Luka
Michael Johnson.
Mayava, Nate Orchard, James Burgess, Matt Roth, James Michael Johnson, and Cam Johnson.
Okay. All right, so that was Justin's pick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So does that put that's me then, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to take a guy who I just realized was still out here, and I would have taken him sooner had I seen this. Let's see. I'm just trying to remember. When did he play in Cleveland? Okay, it wasn't that long ago. I'm taking Jason McCourty,
Yeah.
cornerback.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I forgot all about this guy. So we're talking 681 career tackles, 18 interceptions. I mean, just still balling out for the Patriots, which we keep saying stuff about Browns now playing for Patriots or going to the whatever. But
I can't believe I took Greedy over him. I didn't even see his name there. That's a misstep on me.
That's a big one.
I mean, I
step
think
on everybody.
I mean, I feel like Greedy's going to have he could go on to have a great career, but we're talking about career so far.
Yeah, he's just hasn't. And that's the thing. Like, do you take the potential over proven?
I don't know.
It hasn't really worked out for us.
Well, he's going to start
He's gonna
first
be-
this year,
yeah,
so he
no.
better be good.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yep.
So we got Justin up now. Where are you looking?
Was it me?
No,
I thought it was back to you.
you're up for
Gosh,
your
I
I'll
keep
two.
do
messing
it.
up the order.
No,
'cause we
it's
did-
fine. If you want,
Yeah,
let me go ahead and.
I'm gonna take
You're
cornerback. I'm gonna take cornerback.
Okay.
I already had this guy lined up. Wasn't that great in Cleveland, but since he left Cleveland, been pretty well. I'm gonna take Buster Screen.
I was
Yeah.
hoping. Okay, so I remember Buster Screen's first year on the Browns. Every single game, I would be like, "How is this guy in the
Yeah,
NFL?"
got burned.
I was like, "This is the worst corner I've ever watched play professional football." And then the very next year, I thought he was our best defensive player.
His career is shockingly good.
Yeah, so he has 507 tackles in his 9-year career. Another guy that's now in Chicago playing on that defense. One thing that I liked is I was looking at his stats because I needed another cornerback. And every year except for 3, so he's been in there 9 years, he's played all 16 games.
I thought he should have
Not
won NFL's most improved player in between those 2 years when he was at the Browns.
Yeah.
I was actually upset when I went from I wish this guy would get lost on his way to the game to upset that the Browns didn't bring him back because I thought he
His name in here.
he made a huge jump. I don't know what clicked for him, but he hits. He was all over the field.
So funny. We were doing podcasts the other night, and we had Devon Torrance in here. Okay.
big fan.
Big fan, right? Cornerback for Ohio State.
Yeah.
We played against him in high school.
Yeah.
From Canton South. And he said that, at the combine, he did not run his 40 the way that he wanted to. Like he knew he was a lot faster than what his 40 time was. So when the NFL, long story short, when the NFL draft came around, he was really thinking, okay, he had a good feeling he was getting drafted in the 5th round by Cleveland. That's what he wanted. And who'd Cleveland take? Buster Screen. Yep.
Really?
Yes, sir. That's what he said.
What a small world.
Yeah.
And man, when we first took him, I know that I was probably screaming for Torrance, and when Buster Screen came out and missed like 12 tackles a game and couldn't cover anybody, I was probably extra angry.
Yep.
Did Devon end up getting drafted?
This up real quick.
No, I do not believe so. But I'll you know what? I'll look that up because if anybody out there does not know who Devon Torrance is, I highly recommend go watch some highlights.
He was awesome at Ohio State.
He talked a lot about, you have to listen to that podcast episode. He talked about Malcolm Jenkins because he played with him, and he just talked about what a dog he is. Like, just, it makes me appreciate Malcolm Jenkins. I mean, I already did. Just watching him play, I'm like,
Right.
dude.
Man, okay, so I'm looking at D tackle. Okay, not a lot of guys out there. So I'm looking up the stats, just to compare people. So I look up Phil Taylor, right? I look up Phil Taylor. You know the first thing that comes up on Google for Phil Taylor?
Do not draft.
No,
Run
it's
stopper.
the English darts player. That's who comes up for Phil Taylor. Not the NFL, not the guy that was in the NFL. The English darts player.
Wow.
My dad works with a Phil Taylor. He used to. You're lucky he didn't pop up.
Yeah, Phil Taylor, darts player, actually real good. 214 professional tournaments.
Hey, no. You can't take him.
Oh, okay.
You're not drafting that Phil
He's
Taylor.
not on the board.
All right, so I won't take the English darts player. I'm going to take Desmond Bryant.
You can't.
Why not?
Oh, he's already been taken.
Oh, I missed that one.
Yeah.
Zach,
Okay.
you're terrible at this.
He's on my line,
I'm
baby.
terrible at this.
Hey, the rules last week, what did we say? If you pick somebody who's already been drafted, we're
okay.
going to make fun of you so bad.
You can make fun of me all you
Ricky
want.
Seals Jones, best tight end on the
Hey.
board.
Hey,
Just kidding, dog. I got nothing but love for you, bro.
I'm 100% still in on Ricky Seals Jones.
I know, man.
I'm going to take, I'll go defensive end then. I'm going to take Avery.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, that's a guy.
That's one of the only guys that was left that you know actually was decent.
Jannard Avery, in my personal opinion, should never have been. He was traded, right? They traded him.
Did we trade him or let him go?
I thought he was traded for a fifth or something, but anyway, either way, never should have let him go.
All the guy did every time he was on the field was like show glimpses of what he could be. And I'd listen to the radio, and all anybody said was Jannard Avery at practice is just nobody can block him. And then all of a sudden he's not on the team anymore.
Yeah, they traded him.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I mean, the talent was definitely there, the potential. Again, it goes back to that, we draft these players, but we don't invest in their development. And that's the problem with having all these changes in personnel. Nobody really gets a chance. If you don't come out and, just light it on fire your rookie year, no one has any commitment to you because the very next year it's a whole new regime.
Well, and I feel like we've been so desperate to win that like the patience, there's no patience anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, do it now. I feel like we've been more patient with Baker than we ever would have been with some of these other guys. Last year, we would have been screaming for a replacement.
Yeah, but and the thing is, though, the circumstances really aided that, I believe, because we already saw what Baker did in his rookie year. He was amazing. I'm sitting at home thinking, we got him. We got our guy. This guy's going to be the guy for the next 10, 15 years. He's a Pro Bowler. He's going to take us there. And then last year, Freddie Kitchens happened. And I fully blame it on Freddie and that offensive line and the play calling. And it was just, it's like having Tom Brady as your quarterback, but trying to run an option offense. Like what? That's stupid. You don't do that. So, or like we talked about with the Ravens, having Lamar Jackson and running a straight up, pocket passer type of offense, it's not going to work. Not built for it. So, am I up?
You are up.
Nope, I got two. I got my second pick here. Right?
No, you took Screen and Avery, right?
Oh yeah.
Listen to this guy. Just
I know who I was taking with my next pick. So we'll see if he's still there.
We will see.
Around. We'll see.
All right, Josh, what are we doing here, man?
All right, couple picks left. I still need, actually, both the positions I need, you guys already have filled, so I can take whatever I want.
Awesome.
So I'm just going to go ahead and fill in my strong safety. I'm going to take Jabril Peppers.
Okay.
Obviously not exactly living up to that first round pedigree that we took him as. But I mean, I'm looking over his stats here, in his rookie year, he had 58 tackles, then 79, 76. He had 213 tackles so far in his career in 3 years. I mean, he's not a bad player.
No, Jabril's very solid, and I think, like some of the guys that are still on our team, I think he has a high ceiling. I think he has a chance if put in the right position. Cleveland misused him his first year. Like, criminally misused him. That's not the kind of player.
Playing outfield. Just hanging out there.
25 yards off. That's not the kind of player he is. So, no, I think he has a chance to be a very, very solid pro.
Yeah, his career with the Giants I'm sure we'll be talking about him in the future.
Okay. So, you guys are going to probably think I'm crazy here. I need a defensive tackle very, very badly. A guy that had a terrible, last season of his career in Cleveland. But as a whole, his career was very, very good. So he had 1 sack in Cleveland. I'm going to go with Randy Starks.
Okay.
42 total tackles in his career, 230 solo tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 4 interceptions, 20 pass breakups. I feel like I'm getting a lot of value there for, somebody that's just hanging out.
Well,
Right.
some of these guys that have like 200 tackles, it sounds like a lot until you tell me he had a 15-year career and played
Right.
12.
played
12.
We're leaving that part out.
He
Yeah.
played
Yeah.
200 games. He
Yeah.
had 200 tackles.
Right.
Yeah.
So that puts me on that put me on the clock.
So how many? Okay, yeah, because you're gonna end this round. How many picks do you got left?
I got 2 picks left. I need a D end and I need a linebacker.
Okay.
So quick recap of my team for anybody who's not watching. If you're listening, I got Myles Garrett, Danny Shelton, Ataya Rubin, Chris Gokon, Sione Takitaki, Terrence Mitchell, Greedy Williams, TJ Ward, and Tashawn Gibson. Obviously, just like current day Browns, linebacking crew is definitely the weakest part of my team. I got to go D end here. I'm going to go with a guy who I just think has the coolest football name left on this list.
Yep.
And had a pretty good career for the Browns from what I remember from back in the day. I'm going to go with Frosty Rucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
Solid football player for the Browns. He had 21 and a half career sacks. So, I mean, I'm getting, especially my second to last pick, I'm getting, and the biggest thing, another thing, like earlier, Frosty Rucker didn't get to play next to Myles Garrett or, some of these other guys I'm putting up on the defensive line. So I like the Frosty Rucker pick. I think I'm getting good value this late in the round.
Yep.
And then with my last pick, I'm going to go with a guy. So I need a right linebacker, and there's not a ton of options. I could go like Nate Orchard, who gets cut everywhere. I'm going to go with Kaluka Maiava. And
Please explain who that is.
so I was doing some research, and he was a 4th-round pick by the Browns. And then he actually ended up going on to sign a 3-year deal with the Raiders, a $6 million contract. He was looking like he was going to have an okay career. He had 165 tackles, 4.5 sacks. And then in 2013, before he even got to play for the Raiders, he was charged with assault and criminal property damage and released. So if I can keep this guy out of trouble, I just got to keep his head down, got to surround him with these veterans, keep his head down, and then
Hey man, you can take a disciplined player because last week Justin took a sober Josh Gordon.
Right.
Or not sober.
I don't think there is one.
Not sober. I'm hoping he wasn't sober. That's when he was balling out.
Right.
He was
Yeah.
just locked in.
He just wasn't being caught.
He was just transcendent.
All of a sudden, he became like this top wide receiver, and they're like, "Well, let's see what's going on with this guy." And
He's
then
like,
everything came
stopped
out.
by the local dispensary on the night before the game.
Oh, so you made your 2 picks, correct?
Yep.
So Justin's up.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I need another tackle. A guy that, a lot of people, Browns fans will remember, but like super disappointing as far as what could have been. I'm going to go with Phil Taylor. Oh, I remember just thinking, God, this guy's so big.
Yeah.
So big. Stats, 7 sacks, 68 tackles for solo, 1 forced fumble, 3 pass breakups. More of like a just absolute stuff the hole kind of, guy. Just did not live up to expectations, but on this team, he's not going to need to.
So I was listening to the radio actually a couple weeks ago, and John Greco was on, and they were asking him, like who were some of the tougher guys you ever had to go against in your career in practice, and he said one of the guys that he thought was the hardest to block in practice was Phil Taylor.
Awesome, and he just ended up on my team.
Phil Taylor he like came in hurt,
Yeah,
left hurt.
yeah.
He's probably still hurt. He's like icing his ankle right now listening to this show.
Yep. Somebody's talking about me. It hurts.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and pick a position either you guys have forgotten about or I'm just going to be an idiot and be the first one to do it. But I'm going to go after my coach. And since we're doing defensive stuff right here, I'm going to take that crazy Greg Williams.
I love Greg Williams.
I like Greg
Lozenge Greg Williams.
That's right, man. I mean, we were playing at a very high level with him in the discipline.
Yeah.
Maybe he would not have been a great full-term head coach. He would have been better than Freddie. And just because there was no discipline with Freddie.
He's
But what you saw at the end of that Baker's rookie year 2 years ago, that team was like, they were playing hard.
Yeah.
They were disciplined. I mean, Baker was barely getting sacked.
They were having fun.
Yes. It was fun to watch.
The only thing with Greg Williams, I'll say, I think Blake will also agree with me on this, is there were so many times where he would just send the house every play. Like, they were super, super not like sometimes it worked out, but like we got burned.
We got burned on 3rd and long on a screen pass at least once or twice a game.
Yeah.
Sure. But, you know, and this might go against to my detriment, picking him as my head coach, but he did not have any sort of offseason, any sort of preparation time. It was one day he's the defensive coordinator, and the next day, hey, you're the head coach, dude.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But I liked him. I did.
I agree. That's who I was going to take. I mean, I think he got a bad kind of deal, and at the end of his run in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I need a D tackle and a head coach. That's what I got left. So I'll just go ahead and get the tackle all the way. Now I can't remember if it's Meter or Meter.
Meter.
Okay,
Yes,
so I'm taking Jamie Meter. Guys might remember he blocked the potential game-tying field goal against the Chargers 2016.
Oh, the only win.
It was the only win.
Yeah, okay.
Yep, that was the only win we had. Didn't have a huge, great career, but he is a Cleveland guy, born in Cleveland, went to Ashland University, drafted out of there. So
you're selling me on it.
Yeah, so I'm taking him. He's probably still a Browns fan to this day. If he's not, then I hate him. So I'm going to take him to shore up my D tackle, finish all my players now. So now I'm a head coach. And I'm going to take a guy that still successful in the NFL today. Actually started out really well in Cleveland. I thought, hey, we finally got a guy. I'm going Mike Pettin.
That would have been that was my other guy.
Mike Pettin. I liked Mike Pettin.
I hated Mike Pettin.
I liked Mike Pettin. I thought he was. If he didn't have to play Johnny Manziel, he might have had a better career in Cleveland.
I also
name a coach that's successful with Johnny Manziel.
Here's I felt like Mike Pettin though,
that was about it.
I feel like Mike Pettin though was a huge reason why Johnny Manziel went the way he did. He treated him like complete garbage.
Dude, Johnny Manziel was Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
I hope everybody out there is screaming that you're making excuses.
I'm not making
Johnny
excuses.
Manziel.
You drafted this young guy. You brought Brian Hoyer, treated him like crap. Mike Pettin treated him like crap.
Maybe they all realized that maybe Johnny Manziel was just crap.
Well,
when a guy doesn't show up,
you might not have thought that he should have been on he drafted that high or whatever. He's still on your team. Brian Hoyer came out and I'm not showing this guy anything.
Well, you don't know what also was happening behind the scenes.
Yes.
Maybe they saw Johnny was in the locker room doing coke or whatnot.
Wait.
This was before he even
when was
got
Johnny
to the
ever in the locker room?
Right.
He didn't even show up.
I hated.
You're blaming these guys for disrespecting Johnny Manziel, and he earned no respect.
No,
nothing. Earned
before
nothing.
My problem with him was before. As soon as we drafted Brian Hoyer's out there, I'm not showing this guy anything.
Yeah.
Well, Brian Hoyer, you just lost like 7 games in a row. So
Brett Favre was the same way to Aaron Rodgers.
And now he's doing the same thing probably to Jordan Love.
Yeah, so Mike Pettin just, kind of throws himself. He's been coaching since 2002, so he's been in the NFL a long time. Was the defensive coordinator for the Jets for a few years, was in Buffalo for a few years, and then he came to Cleveland as our head coach, was 7-4 until he had to start playing Johnny Manziel as his quarterback, and things were downhill from there. He lost, I think, 7 of his last 9 games that he was a coach in Cleveland.
Mind you, he had to play Johnny because Brian Hoyer was trash.
I would have played Brian Hoyer. Back then I was like, oh yeah, Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel was terrible. He might be like one of the worst quarterbacks we've had in the past decade.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but Brian Hoyer was also trash.
Brian Hoyer was not trash.
He was. He still is trash.
He's still in the NFL.
That's why you're not getting those votes out there.
He's still in the NFL.
Trash. He can't beat out.
Where's Johnny?
He can't beat out Jarrett Stidham.
Johnny's passed out in a ditch somewhere.
He's living his best life. He's retired, a millionaire.
Okay, so back to Mike Pettin, one of the Browns. I can't wait for you to pick Hugh Jackson. When he was with the Browns, led the league in opponent pass rating at 74.1, ranked number 2 in interceptions. All he's done is turn Green Bay's defense into a top 10 defense the last couple of years.
I'm with you, Zach. I think that Mike Pettin. I think that he got the raw end of a very nasty looking stick.
Yes,
he really did.
And there's no way that I look back and Mike Pettin wanted to play Johnny Manziel.
No.
Haslam's drafted Johnny Manziel. Mike Pettin had to be the yes man of, hey, I want to kind of keep my job.
Was
so I
that
gotta
not
play.
whenever Ray Farmer got suspended for
Yes.
texting?
Yep.
Come on, let your head coach coach. I mean, nobody's telling Bill Belichick during the game to put somebody else in a position. That ain't happening.
Right.
So that's the thing with Cleveland. Like,
So who's got the next? So you pick.
I'm up.
And then Josh picks. So Blake gets whatever coach is left over that Josh is going to have to force him to make a decision.
You mean Justin?
Or
Yeah,
Justin.
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
You're gonna
And
make
there's
him
not
make a
going to be,
decision.
trust me, it's going to be the 3 that he didn't like, because I guarantee you, he's not going to make that mistake.
And I bet-
I'm not going to make that mistake.
All right, so
we'll see, though.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to solidify my winning roster from this draft because I know I got it. So free safety, I'm taking Abram Elam.
Okay.
And I was looking up his stats, and the best year that he had was in Cleveland. He had 91 combined tackles that year. Other years, he hit like 79, 68, 69. He only has 3 career interceptions, but I mean, I'm just looking for guys to break up passes and make those tackles.
That's a good pick. He was one of the guys that, I remembered him from when he was playing in Cleveland. Morgan Burnett was on the board at that point.
Oh, and that's who I was going to take.
Yeah.
So you kind of, snuck that one from me. Who's your coach?
All right. So, out of the choices that were left, it came down to 2 guys. I won't say the other one just because Blake's probably going to take that guy. But I'll go with Eric Mangini out of those guys that are left.
Very
he really
smart football mind.
He didn't really get a great hand when he was the head coach of Cleveland. I mean, we couldn't put any kind of talent around this guy. He actually is a 3-time Super Bowl champ with the Patriots.
I think he just rubs people the wrong way.
Well, he had 2 good years in New York.
Yeah,
10 and
with the
6,
Jets.
9 and 7.
Yep.
So everything that we keep saying about players not getting the chance to develop, getting moved on from too soon, coaches not having the best hand dealt to them or getting, the short end of the stick, this all goes back to ownership, man.
And
it goes.
Yeah.
This is a whole reflection on the top.
Listen,
Yeah.
I have a book. I got to let you guys read. It's written by Terry Pluto, and it's basically just like the Cleveland Browns history since we came back. Like how basically it's called like how it all went wrong or something. You would be shocked at some of the things. This guy has inside scoops on this stuff. It's unbelievable that not only that we are still a team, that we even make money. I don't know how these guys do anything right. They're so bad. The inept decisions that the front office and the ownership has made. You got to read this book. I was just reading it, shaking my head.
I don't know if I'm also going to be able to sell you on this Eric Mangini pick, but some of my more memorable Cleveland wins in the last decade have been when they beat the Patriots when we were terrible, when they were coming. I think Pittsburgh had won it the year before that, but they were a very good still Patriots team, and the Saints were very good, and we beat both those teams.
I remember both those wins.
And those were
No, I thought Mangini was slowly turning things around, changing the culture. We were creative. I thought, and then they just got rid of him.
Yep. Well, it's very Cleveland-ish. I mean, we're very
and
short fused.
I just want to direct the listeners' attention out there to the fact that we're doing an all-decade fantasy draft with defense and a head coach, and we have 8 options of head coach.
Yes. Yes.
4 of them are in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Dude.
Well, hey, just going right off that, I'm going to make my pick for coach. I'm going to go with a guy who got royally screwed by the Browns. I'm going Rob Chudzinski.
That was the only logical choice left.
Call me crazy. The guy went 4-12 in his only year as head coach. I've loved Rob Chudzinski. Not only did I love what he did, Norv Turner was his offensive coordinator, former really good head coach. Ray Horton is his defensive coordinator. Still a good defensive coordinator. I thought this guy, maybe besides the coaching staff we've put together today, I thought he had by far the best coaching staff the Browns have had in the last 10 years. And we gave this guy 1 year so we could hire Zach's guy.
Yeah, who had a better record.
Yeah. You mean to tell – so we hired Rob Chudzinski and then fired him after 1 year so the Haslams could get their guy, Mike Pettin? I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think – imagine what Rob Chudzinski could have done with some of the players that Mike Pettin had. He was so much more creative
Yeah,
offensively.
I couldn't have waited to see what he did with Johnny Manziel as his quarterback.
I bet you he would have put him in a system to
He would
maybe
have
make him a
respected
little.
him. Shown him a little respect.
He would have put him in a. I
Put some
bet you he would
respect
have
on
put
his
him in
name.
a better position to succeed than Pettin did.
They're still coaching, too.
There was no
Judd's still
succeeding.
coaching.
There was no succeeding with Johnny Manziel.
I think with Johnny, what Blake's saying is that everybody on the team and the head coach should have just said, get off his back, okay? The guy's
Exactly.
hungover. Give him a break.
No, what I'm saying is, you might not have liked that the front office made you draft him, but he's here now. He's part of your team. You should try to help the guy. Look what we went out of our way for Josh Gordon. Look how
Yes,
many chances
yes.
we gave Josh Gordon.
But when Johnny Manziel lifts his head up at the sound of his name, wipes the powder off his nose, and says,
I'm here, coach.
Yeah.
I think so. I think I'm here.
No,
Yeah.
but what I'm saying is, you might not have liked that they had him, but he was still part of your team.
Mike Pettin. I
He-
enjoyed
to
Mike
me,
Pettin.
it was a terrible team culture. Terrible team culture.
Well, it was.
The last
I mean,
20
it goes
years,
back to
I
the pick. It was a bad pick. It was a bad fit. I don't know what they were really thinking there. I mean, he was dropping in the draft for a reason.
Yeah.
He was-
So here's how screwed Mike Pettin was on his job. Okay, so just because Blake wants to, we're going to get into this now. So you talked about how his offense coordinator with Mike Pettin was Kyle Shanahan.
yeah, and
Kyle Shanahan knew where it was going of who was going to be pushed to start, and what did he do?
He liked Mike Pettin so much he drew up a 2-hour PowerPoint to get out of Cleveland.
I don't think that it was Mike Pettin. I think
If
it was
he
the
liked
direction
Mike
the
Pettin-
direction that everything was going, and they knew who they
If
drafted to
he
start
liked
a
Mike
quarterback.
Pettin, he would have stuck around.
Or he hated Johnny Manziel and said, "I can't make Johnny Manziel win. I'm getting out of
He
here."
definitely could, because all he'd do is hand the ball off in a Kyle Shanahan offense.
Yeah, listen.
Johnny couldn't find the running back. He'd hand it off to the defender.
ladies, since we're going a little long here, how about we table the head coach discussion? Let's do another episode where we actually let's each individually rank the last 10 or 8 head coaches, and then we'll do a consensus ranking.
my gosh!
Let's not say we did. Let's just say we did, and
be
we can lie to people
depressing.
about it. Are we gonna recap teams real
Yeah,
quick?
let's recap some
Okay.
teams.
Okay.
All right, you want me to go first?
Number one
since I-
pick, yep.
All right, no, first pick of the draft, I took Myles Garrett, then Frosty Rucker, Danny Shelton, Nataya Rubin, Chris Gokon, Sione Takitaki, Kaluka Mayava, Terrence Mitchell, Greedy Williams, TJ Ward, Tashawn Gibson, and head coach Rob Chudzinski.
You're all in with those names.
That's
Like,
what
you
my
picked-
linebacking crew is just like they all played for Hawaii.
Nice.
Cleveland Browns fans, I give you your defensive vote for best team here. Paul Kruger, Olivier Vernon, Randy Starks, Phil Taylor, Carlos Dansby at linebacker, Eric Barton, Scott Fajita, Tremont Williams, Sheldon Brown, Dante Whitner, Mike Adams, with your coach, Eric Mangini.
All right, I had
team.
the third pick, so I'm going to let my head coach Greg Williams roll out a nice defensive line of Emmanuel Ogba, Jabal Sheard, Larry Ogunjobi, and Desmond Bryant. Linebackers, I've got Demario Davis, Joe Schobert, and Mac Wilson. And then my secondary is headed by Joe Hayden and Jason McCourty with Jabril Peppers and Abram Elam.
Solid.
Good team.
It's very solid, yep.
Had the fourth pick. I'm rolling out there with Mike Pettin as my head coach. Barkevius Mingo at the end with Jannard Avery. D-tackle Jamie Meter with Sheldon Richardson. Linebackers Christian Kirksey, DeQuell Jackson, Jamie Collins. Cornerbacks Denzel Ward, Buster Screen. And then I got safeties Demarius Randall and Morgan Burnett.
It's crazy how good all those teams.
This is going to be a fun vote.
Yeah,
I want to see
and
what
it's
happens
hard.
here.
There's like every team. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. As long as we keep the collusion of Justin and Josh paying off votes or whatnot.
I'm not paying. Hey, no votes paid out, but I do appreciate you guys out there. I just know that if you vote for me, you'll get a message from me at Facebook at 2:30 in the morning while I'm
There you
sitting
go.
on break.
There you go.
All right, well, hey, that concludes our all-decade defensive side of the draft. This is where you guys come in. Make sure you share the video, comment who you think has the best team. Obviously, you guys can see we get all fired up about this stuff. It's a lot of fun for us. Hopefully, it's a lot of fun for you. Also, don't forget to check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and
Twitter.
Yeah, don't forget Twitter. That's where we get the most followers.
Yeah.
So
And I want to give a big shout out. I should have done this at the beginning of the episode. Last episode and this episode, we were able to do this contest Murphy and Company Insurance sponsored this contest for us, bought these T-shirts. Go check out Ian Murphy over at Murphy and Company Insurance. I have him, and I totaled a truck and wrecked a truck like 3 months later, and I'm still on insurance with this guy. So he's a great dude. Give him a call. You can find him online, and I want to give a big shout out to him for always checking out the show and sponsoring these last couple episodes.
Love it.
Yep, and we'll see you guys next week.